Hey, Wheatfield, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? This is your girl Lottie here at Tears and Wheat to Roll Show, where you show enough never know what you gonna get. What's on the menu for today, my wheat? A little answering some Q&A that I've been getting. So we gonna get into it. I hope y'all ready. I hope you stick around. Find out a little bit more of your girl and how this all goes down. Yes. So let me welcome you. Welcome my wheat. Welcome back to the wheat field. My returning wheat. What up, guys? Wheat, if you new, welcome to you too. How y'all doing? Come on in here and set for a spell. I hope by the time you done, you want to subscribe and hit that bell. So, your girl been getting some questions, y'all. Questions about who I am, what I'm about, how do I channel, how did all of this, break out? Like, how did you decide that this is what you wanted to do, and how did you know that this was your calling? What is your spirituality base? How do I choose cards? Who do I channel with? You know, a lot of different things. So we figured that we would take a little bit of time and dedicate an episode to at least a portion of it. You know, we ain't gonna talk about your girl the whole time because it ain't really a whole lot to tell, I don't think, because it's really, in my opinion, not about me. But I can understand, like, if people want to come in and they want to be a part of my viewership, that they would like to know a little bit about who I am. And considering folks is asking, I definitely will oblige in answering. Okay. So if y'all can sit with that and you can rock with your girl, if you already vibe and subscribe. If you want to wait to the end of the video and see if you feeling it and get through it, and all that stuff, and you vibe, then subscribe. I would love for you to be a part of the wheat field and just come on in and stay. Hit that bell. Give me a thumbprint too. It'll help me pick up on you. Ashe. So let's talk about it. Again, my name is La T. La is from my middle name, which is Lane, and from my last name, T. I'm not going to say all of that, but it is what it is. So, La T. And I came up with the name Tears and Wheat to Roll because I have a strong Christian background. That's where I cut my teeth, right? So my grandparents were pastors and we were raised in our family church until my grandfather passed when I was about 9. And after that, my grandmother, who was an evangelist, definitely continued, in church and her worship. And anytime we go spend time with Graham, you going to go to church. I'm talking about whether you brought a dress or not. You thought you wasn't going to bring no dress, huh? You going to wear one of her old dresses and some knee highs and her shoes or your shoes, and you might look a little ridiculous. So you best come prepared to go to the house of worship. And that's just how we were raised. So I cut my teeth in that theology. When I was about, as a youngster, we'll back up, I always knew I was different. I felt different. I never really connected to people around me. Honestly, didn't feel like I was even in the right space. You know how sometimes you can feel like you're born into the wrong family? Not that I don't love my family. I love my family to death. All of them. Every last one of them I do. But it's just weird when you don't vibrate and your frequency is different. Because cousins are your first friends. Those are your first peeps, your first wheat. You know what I mean? So you learn a lot of dynamics in socializing from your siblings and from your cousins, right? That's your first crew. And it was always only just ones or twos in my whole family crew that I really vibe with, that seemed to get me. Like, get me on a deeper level, like understood who La was. And so it was a lot of people that I just didn't resonate. Not even resonate like how they play, what they did, the talk, the speech, everything was just different for me. It was like I was in my own world all the time. And I'm a middle child, and my oldest sibling is quite a few years older than me. And my brother didn't come around until I was like 9, something like that. So I was the baby for a minute. And being in that space, I definitely was separated. I played by myself a lot, and I played in the spirit all the time. I always played with spirits all the time. And I just thought they were imaginary friends. For me, that's who they were to me. They were my friends. They were the ones that understood who I was, and we could get along, and we could. I wasn't lonely with them. Like, I could always be in my head, in my mind's world. I lived, and we definitely had some trials and tribulations growing up. Some things that I saw that really also made me very introverted. Experienced quite a few atrocities, that made me introverted and set me aside, made me feel different in that right as well. And my very first experience of channeling was probably about 11 or 12 that I can really remember being in a trance or feeling like there was another energy in control of my vessel, if that makes sense. So around about 12 too, I got really heavy into African American studies. Always loved something about that connection of our roots and where did I come from. Knowing that, in this land, everything just was, this wasn't it. I just felt like this wasn't it. There was more, there's more. And I always, enjoyed the more, right? I always was drawn to history and learning about not only our culture and heritage as people, but cultures of others, like anthropology. So, like, when we would study, like, cultures like the Trobrianders in Papua New Guinea, stuff like that, to see how other people, the indigenous peoples, activated, like, what do they do, stuff like that. So yeah, yeah, going back to that channeling experience, because that was deep. It was a very pivotal moment for us, where we did channel and we were in front of our cousins. Like I said, those are your first week, your first peeps, and they rejected me. Like, they definitely did not understand what was happening. I didn't understand it, so I mean, there was no way that I could explain it. And they thought that I was, like I was lying, or like I was making it up, or that it was just like I was reaching for attention. And it was like, no, I have no, like, what. So that really pushed me inside, right? It made me reject a part, or just make me feel like something was wrong with me, like that's something that I have to hide away. But even ever since then, I could see timelines. I could always see time. I could have the sensation of pulling back out of the plane, out of the manifested reality, and see the real of time, like almost like a film. Like, seriously, you could see blocks and spaces of time. And as I could look at the real go by, and I could feel whether or not this person was in my life, I would have a sentiment about them. Like, I talk about my brother and his wife. I saw my first husband. I saw my second one that I'm divorcing now. And even with that, when I looked at him, I knew I was going to marry him the first date we went on. It was like, ooh, that's my husband. But I felt death. It was like, oh my God, I feel death. Like, holy shit. Like, we're going to get married and he's going to die. He's going to have a heart attack, because I felt a supreme heartache. Like, I could feel my chest seize up. And from that moment, it was like almost like I had a blind, like a distortion. And I stayed in that relationship, even though I probably, I felt like it was, yes, a soul contract, something that I was supposed to do. I met him for a specific reason, so I could go through this dark night of soul and it'll crack me open, whatever the case may be, however you believe. But the heartache that I felt was going to be because it would be the most heartbreaking experience that I've had so far. Like, his heart, definitely, he's not who I thought he was. But I was supposed to meet him, and I was supposed to do what I did. So, not only am I able to see timelines and see people in my life, but because I was rejected so young, I never really got into honing my gift. I was never around anyone who even spoke about truly being gifted or having a sense of telekinesis, spiritual connectedness in that way. Because I come to find out that I channel with the Most High God, the infinite, eternal Lord of all of creation. It's mine, the infinite intelligence and the breath of life. And using the breath of life is where things like telekinesis come in. The ability to harness that energy and see things move. So if you guys ever go through some of my archives, you will see cards move, cards shift. Not just, I got a new deck in my hand and, cards slide, Not just that. I gotta get it. Not just that, because some people will say, oh, it's static. No. You can see me move my hand over my table and my cards will move. It will jump to show me. Look up underneath here. Yeah, I know. Look underneath here. I'm calling your attention to this space. And the very first time it happened on camera, I was like, oh snap, right? Like it was heavy. Like I wasn't even touching it. And it just definitely time to let go. Somebody needs to let go. Father say, move the F on. This came out yesterday. Am I need to move on to another topic? No. So it's definitely, see? But the first time it happened, though, I know if it feels squirrel, I'll get back to my point, because I think we talked about channeling at 12, feeling rejected, not really being around anybody who understood what was going on. One of my favorite movies, I'm an avid for scary movies. Not that I'm possessed or anything like that, because that's not it. No, it's energies around that I have to control my channel to ensure that everything is blocked out, that I'm sealed. You guys will see me pray heavy. And if I feel like there's an energy of confusion, I will stop and pray and ask the Father to seal my channel, to brighten my light, to brighten my internal lumens, so that whatever energy that comes after me or into the space to come for confusion will be blocked out. As a matter of fact, let's pray now. Thank you, Holy Father, our infinite, eternal Lord of all of creation, your intelligence, the infinite intelligence, the word, the wisdom, the principal thing, yes, the breath of life, yes, that moves and connects and binds us all. Thank you so much for the courage, giving me the courage to share my story. As people, your wheat, Father, your wheat, for we are called for good bread, yes. As you bring your wheat to this space and they ask and inquire of me, of the am that I am, I thank you for giving me the courage to share myself, to be vulnerable, to be intimate with those who seek that information. Help me to bind and connect myself in such a way to protect myself, yes, because there are pieces of me to be remain protected. However, I do want to be open enough with your wheat so that they may understand who I am, what I am, why I am, and why I have come. Thank you so much for giving me the courage to do this work, to be comfortable with me, with my connection to you, to your intelligence, the wisdom, the principal thing, and understanding the breath of life that fills me, that connects, that moves in this space. Yes, Father, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes. Thank you for sealing me. Thank you for protecting me, for blocking out anything that will come against me to distort this message, to cause any confusion, any disillusion, yes, to cause any conflict at all. Let the light be so bright, Father. Let my light be so bright. Surround me in your light, Father, so that anything that will come against us be turned back and blinded and pushed away, that it cannot enter into this space, as we are sealed. For heaven has come to earth to reside in earth and on earth to do a work. The work that I am remembering that needs to be done. And as I surrender onto the work to be obedient to you, Father, protect me, guide me, step into the forefront to lead this message. Step into it. Give me the words, Father. Give me the words to convey the message, to share myself, yes, in such a way that people hear, they can see, and they can understand for clarity. If they have any confusion, let it be clear. Give them the spirit of clarity. Let their spirit be touched, and let their spirit discern in truth. For your sake, Father, for your sake, as I edify self in my vulnerability, so that I may serve that up to you. Let me edify your weak, Father, so that they too can open themselves up to whatever is in them that must be served out, so that they can be edified in that service and edify you. Let us come together over the purpose of service, for heaven has come to earth to do a work. It resides on earth and in earth, and the work must be done. Yes, Father, for the time is nigh. It is not now, no, but it is nigh, and we must get on the way of doing our Father's business, for it is the purpose of us to be here to do the work of heaven. Yes, Father, thank you, thank you, thank you. And as we do that work, we become edified. We magnify ourselves, Father. We raise ourselves up. We brighten and magnify and expand, for creation is whole. Creation is whole, and it is complete. Thank you so much. And as we do that, we serve that up onto you, Father. We serve it up onto you, so that we may be received, that we may tune our frequency, yes, and raise ourselves up, so that we may come back to wholeness, to unity, and serve that unification onto you, our Father, our Creator, eternal Lord of all of creation. For that I obey, yes. If we be in alignment, Father, please seal me by your ashe, seal me, or give me further words I should pray. Source says to stop fighting yourself. It's time to raise ourselves up. It's time to raise ourselves up. Are we sealed, Father? Ashe. 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 Yes. 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 Do you want the book? Not yet. Do you want to seal it? Not yet. This. Father brought me to the power of discipline. Thank you, Father. We sealed. Yes. Ashe, you did say we were sealed, so we're good. Whew. So we got. Oh, you pulled this. Yes, you did. Father, this is the psalm. The comeback came back is here. Came back is here. Father pulled the 7 spiritual laws of success, so there's something in there, but we're not going to get it just yet. You want this card? Father says, what would happen if you didn't try to control your future? That's a thing. So we're going to talk about that as well. So as I was saying, I definitely am highly, highly, highly spiritual, and always have been, right? And always talk to the spirit, always, was in the spirit in my mind. I had my first channeling experience at 12, and yeah, they definitely rejected me, so, and I could see why Father brought me to this book, so you heard me say that. And look, see if I can get this in here. Where is it? Can y'all see that? The fear of regret and the mere exposure effect. And Father is calling me to this. It said, can I read the whole passage? Yes, to where? The whole thing. So Father says, the mere exposure effect. Another powerful mind trick that keeps us bound to the same old behaviors, beliefs, and routine is the mere exposure effect. So, for me, I dimmed my light for a very long time. I didn't want anybody to, half the time know what I was thinking, what I was feeling, and then oftentimes it set me aside. It made me very introverted, even though I'm an extrovert, you know what I mean? I was very introverted because I just didn't want to be exposed. I didn't want what I was feeling, what was really going on with me to be exposed. People be, like when I'm telling you this gift cracked all the way open after my soul contract had come to an end, and I went through a serious dark night of the soul, and, a lot like, and being able to channel, not understanding how to control my channel, control energies, things of that nature, to block things out. I could do it well in my waking hours because I'm conscious and I could feel when something is with me. But in your sleep, your body relax and your channel is open, and in it, look, It was like my oldest daughter, she wanted to call. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure she made a phone call to the people to figure out whether or not she could put your girl away and have her go take one of them dresses for them twos and fews. You know what I mean? The little jackets with the buckles in the back that you can't readily undo. Oh, yeah, it was thick. It was thick. And some days it still be thick. You know, some days I really have to sit in meditation and prayer, like smudge my space, like really be deep down in there, because when you have a strong gift or a strong calling, you come under spiritual attack all the time. Not only are we always under spiritual attack because there's energies in this plane, there's multiple energies in this plane, at least 3 types of energies. And that third one, the fallen, yes, they do roam, looking to seek who they can devour. They roam to and fro all the time, looking to see who they can devour. And if they cannot devour you, if they cannot make you stray or persuade you to pull yourself back, to stay introverted, to diminish your light so that you don't fulfill your purpose, they will go to the point of extinguishing your light. Yes, they do. And so when we look at the industries, and that happens, trust, it's real. It's real. Oh, it's very real. And there's a lot of folks know. They do. You know, I mean, people with the power that seek to hoard the power onto themselves, they know. They know, and they practice, right? And they have taught us that practicing is wrong, and it's not. But your intentions make it wrong. If you are not focused on serving that thing up and beginning your purpose in it onto the Most High God, the eternal Lord of all of creation, then yeah. Because heaven is coming on earth to do a work. But it is, are you come to do the work and be in your purpose? Have you come to just experience creation? Because creation is whole. And the way that our light, our spirit selves experience creation is by being in a vessel. This is truly a vessel. Your true self is really in here. You really have a spirit self. And it really rides around in this vessel. That the 8 wonders are you. You. Beloved, they talk about the Grand Canyon and all this stuff, Niagara Falls. No, that's not the 8 wonders. You can see those wonders through use of the 8 wonders. What are the 8 wonders, beloved? You, your 5 senses, sight, smell, taste, touch, sensation, and hearing. Those are the first 5 wonders that we get taught about, but we don't necessarily get taught the other 3. We don't get taught that your emotions are a wonder is number 6, that your intuitive mind is number 7, and our grand cosmic mind is number 8. It is how we stay connected. I was just talking about movies. One of my favorite movies of all time since I was a little girl was Carrie. Stephen King's Carrie. Ooh, yes, Father. It was something about that girl that I just resonated with. For one, she was an eye duckling just like me. Unconventionally beautiful. I mean, I think that, yeah. Anywho, y'all. But, you know, she was unconventional. She was shy and quiet and introverted, but not really an introvert. She's really an extrovert, but she's been pushed inside. It's been layers in her family experience that didn't allow her to truly be who she was. She didn't even understand who she was. And she was called to certain things for certain reasons, and she didn't understand why. And when it took her to go through the greatest atrocity, I mean that heartbreak, to crack her all the way open. And I resonated with that. It was like, damn, that hits my kingdom for some reason. It just hits me. It sticks with me. So when I say, y'all, when these cards move around and the breath is working and the breath is moving and I'm thinking about something, I can see it, I can feel it, and then it pops up, it pops out, oh yeah. I knew that it was real, that it was really real. And to say that takes a lot of courage to really expose yourself. So the mere exposure effect, yeah. For example, a study conducted in 1968 found that the more participants were exposed to symbols and words, the chances of developing a positive affiliation with them increased. So the more and more I dug into my gift, the more I understood what it was. But also there's a sense of conformity here, right? What you are exposed to is what you conform to. And you kind of develop an affiliation with that thing. We ain't gonna go too much deeper into that, no. You may have experienced this in your personal life. The more you interact with an individual, the more you find yourself liking them. I hope y'all come back and interact with me. I do. So I hope you come back and that you subscribe because you vibe and you get it and you good with it, like it hits you in your kingdom, like yeah, this is an okay space for me. But also the fact that the more that you dig deep into self and connect with your spirit self and affiliate yourself with that, then you definitely will find yourself really experiencing some things from a spiritual space that you didn't know. It may expose your gift. I feel because there's more me's out there. I'm not the only one. No, I'm not. It's a lot of gifted individuals out here, like with a true, authentic, real connection, strong connection to the spirit world. Like you are seriously tethered to the spirit and you are able to operate in the spirit, in this physical manifestation, like consciously aware, whole conscious. Not that separation that folks be trying to tell you it is with the subconscious and the waking conscious and all that. No, you are pure consciousness. It's all about whether you focus on that or not. Do you pay it any attention? So when you start paying attention to your spirit space, it awakens levels of consciousness that you otherwise just don't even think about. So inundated with the world, the physical manifestation, that we forget that we come from somewhere else. That your light was called eons ago. That you are here in this manifestation to learn, to grow, to experience using those 8 wonders. And when you tap into your spirit space, oh beloved, what becomes possible? And there's a lot of energies that don't want that exposed. They don't. Sometimes you guys will see my hair moves because I am the pendulum. When I use my crystal, people would get confused. It's like they feel like my hand is moving because I am the pendulum. It is me. The energy flows through me and into whatever object. So this right here happens. You will see it's not just because I'm moving my head, blah, 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 blah. No. You will see that depending on what I'm saying, if the spirit is agreeing with me, my lock will definitely move. It will do what it wants to do. So, there are definitely exceptions to this rule because in some cases, the more you are exposed to something, the more you notice things that you don't like. That is the whole thing. Sometimes we get exposed to stuff just to show you what you are and what you are not. Tears in your life come to project on to you what you are not. Or parts of you that you need to change, adjust, tune. Because a part of our coming is to tune ourselves to match the frequency of the Most High God. So tares and wheat, the parable is that the tares are sown in. The gardener gave seeds to the worker to sow in the lot. They did a great job laying the land, making sure that everything was good. It was good soil, and they laid the seeds. But then at night, they noticed, that night something happened. The tares were sown in. By who, right? But the next day, they see, or when the seeds began to sprout, they noticed that there were weeds in the lot. And they're like, well, how did that happen when everything was clear, everything was good, we only sowed the good seed? But now there's weeds there because the weeds are a part of the whole system. They are sewn in. It is our projection. It is the other part of us. It is what we come in with that we must transmute. We must be able to see it so we can transmute it, so that we can raise ourselves up. Oftentimes, it is a part of our own reflection. And you look at the underground network of the roots that are so entangled, that the lesson was that you yourself, as a worker or a laborer, cannot just rip the weeds out, because the tares and the wheat look the same. You don't know what's a tare and what's the wheat until they bear fruit. The tare is something you cannot eat. It has thorns on it. It'll hurt you. You can't touch it. You can't eat it. It is not called for good bread. It is the part of us that we must separate so that it could be burned, it could be cast down. And the remaining is what will be called into the storehouse for good bread. And who does that? The Father. The Father does that. We are only to look at the tares, to see what is reflected back to us in our life experience, so that we can adjust ourselves. We can tune ourselves to a higher frequency. However, in general, the longer we are exposed to a situation, the more we develop an assumption that it may not be exactly what we want, but it will do. Fathers say there's a lot of conformities that we deal with. And we accept them because it's what we are around all the time. It's like it's what we see. It is our life, and it is our manifestation. It is the issues of the day. It is what's been presented onto us since we came into the plane as babes, right? So here in this space, we talk about releasing conformities all the time. We come into existence in this manifestation as children. You are birthed, and you are birthed to a set of stewards, one or two, right? However you were, whatever your situation is and how you were raised is what you come into. And we come into that and we learn. We learn, and we don't know what we don't know. We don't know what we don't remember. And we spend our lifetime going through the process of remembering. And we have situations and experiences come on to us or into our life to cause us to remember. Remember who you are, what you are, and why you are. Why you are here. And some people we move from one node to another. My past life was Aries, right? That was my south node. Now I'm moving to Libra, which is my north node. And in that learning to come to balance, to attune myself from the past experiences of my other lives and into the new now in this life, to do a work so that I can tune myself to ascend into a more balanced state. And when I get there may be a process of, I'm not for sure if I'm going to be, it's never done until we match the frequency of the Most High God. But that is the journey. So why is Lati here, and why does she do what she do? I must be obedient to the word. The Father has spoken. And we had an experience of going on the other side, going back into the spirit space where the vessel was not in the land of the living. I was standing in the gap. And as I was in the gap, I could hear the Father. First, I could feel all the others that were around me also waiting to be received, waiting to feel. It didn't even feel like rest. It just felt like so still and cold. I felt cold and that felt still. No breath. There was no breath. It just felt like. And then I could hear and see the light of the Father way up so high, and it felt like the Father was so far away. And all I could hear was, "You will serve. You will serve." And then I felt the breath of life come back upon me and animate me. And since that time, I was changed. And I was still in the same situation. My circumstances hadn't changed. My environment hadn't changed. Nothing about what I was going through had changed. But I was changed. It started within me, like cracked me all the way open. And I began to praise. Praise through any and everything. Everything that I saw. Everything. I could see how everything was to the good. Everything to teach us. Everything to grow us. Everything to bring us back into alignment. To align us. And that I would speak it out. That there was something for me to do. Something for me to say. Something for me to give. And I would serve it. Because that was my charge, to serve and to be of service. I felt like that line from John Wick when he had to travel all the way on to death. He was getting ready to die, and it was like, if the Father, if the head wants you alive, it will come and get you. And that's how I felt. Like I was picked back up out of that space and moved back into the plane, put me back and said, "You will serve." And ever since then, I've been on a journey to determine what is my service and how. So it was my daughter that bought me a couple of sets of books that really, was eye-opening. And I've always been an avid reader. Like I said, I love history and learning about our people. I studied world theologies for a very long time. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for still being with me. Thank you for staying engaged. I appreciate you more than I can say. But yeah, I want to say ever since about 2000, always been into church, we said that. That's how I cut my teeth. But like 2007-ish is when we really started studying world theologies. Like, how is this word literal or is it metaphorical? That was the first question. And we came to the conclusion that a lot of it is metaphorical. A lot of it is a way to explain to us as humans what it is, the concepts. And then we got into a course covering that with history and learning about how energies have been in conflict in this plane to hoard power for a very, very long time. And distorting the knowledge that has been given onto the plane affects us. And they do not want that exposed. No, they don't. Why? Because you would step into your fullness. You would realize that you are a spiritual being riding around in a vessel that you created around yourself so that you can experience this manifestation. So that creation can experience creation. And that you are a piece of heaven. And that you have come to this plane, heaven, residing in earth and on earth to do a work. And if you stay asleep, or going from one sleep to another sleep, like Inception, like every time you, like that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, if y'all remember that back in the day, every time he would keep a little totem in his pocket, and he would spin it. And if it stayed spinning, then he knew he was still asleep, that he was not really woke. We think about the Matrix in that movie. We think about Avatar, how everything plugs into your pineal because that's where your Akashic records are held. All of that deep knowingness, the information, the intelligence infinite intelligence, it what am I feeling? I feel around and around as past life or past energy, intelligence of the all. The all is there. And all of that intelligence is now. Like, you can tap into it now. Like, it really is. Because time is just, it's not, the intelligence doesn't work in time. It doesn't. The Father doesn't work in time. Everything is now. Everything existing now, right? So in Inception, the thing was like, oh, you wake up, but you wake up into another dream. You wake up into another dream, another dream, another dream. And you have to keep waking all the way up to finally become woke. So if you think about the theme of that movie, he had to go down so many layers in the manifestation to bring out his wife, his counterpart. She had got stuck down in a lower manifestation so deep that it would compromise him to go that deep in manifestation to bring her up, to raise her up back into reality, into the realness, because she was stuck. She didn't want to come out. And that's a part of what we experience. A lot of people don't want to really, really wake up, because it brings responsibility back onto self to complete your journey, to be surrendered onto your purpose, onto your realness, onto what it is that you're supposed to service. And those energies don't want you to wake up. They don't. Because you being asleep, beloved, and not fulfilling your purpose allows them to continue to keep a chokehold on all of reality, all of manifestation, onto creation itself. And creation is not onto them. It is onto the Most High God that created it all. So there's plenty of energies that seek to hoard that power onto it, to have you misplace not only your praise, your worship, your attention, everything. Now, that can be controversial for some people, might click off and they may leave. But considering that the Most High God, the Father, every messenger has said that it is on to the Father, that we do not place the praise on the messenger, but we give it on to the Father, that who sent the messenger, that who created all things good and evil. Now, why would the Father create good and evil? The evil reminds us of the good. It teaches us. It gives us the reflection, the other side. You have to push through it. You have to persevere. You have to recognize. You have to dig into your discernment. You have to dig into your intuition. You would not know who you are, beloved, without the reflection. I'll say that one more time. You would not know who you are without the reflection. I would not know who I am had I not looked at other pieces of creation, other me's that reflect me back to myself. The mirror. So oftentimes when a person is saying this about you or that about you, oh, you this or oh, you that, no, it's projection. It's really what they feel about self. It's their deep-rooted insecurities. It is the issues that they deal with. It is the tears of their own experience that they are expressing back to you. It's projection. You are a peaceful person and you go around other folks, you will irritate the shit out of their spirit. Oh yeah, because we do. Because words is words. We not profane and we not vulgar, but the shits do come out, trust. Okay, because again, if your light is shining and you go into a dark place, you're going to irritate the shit out of all of them. Why? Because you shining, 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 yeah. You shining your light on all of their darkness, and they don't like it. They don't. Again, the fallen, those energies that roam to and fro, oh, they here. They are. And their whole thing, they want to hoard power onto self. They don't want to kneel to the Father. They don't want to get into purpose and actually come into balance. They don't want creation to know that it is whole, that it is complete, that you are missing nothing, that you have everything, that you are a manifester, that we create our reality. That is a part of the work that we do. Wake, pray, so that we can slay the dragons of this day. So how do I choose my cards? The Father does. I ask, ooh, what would you like to speak through? Father picks the cards. This one? All right. Father picks the cards. And when we are shopping, we just use our intuition, let our spirit guide us. Oh, these look good, those look good. Oh, I resonate with that, and we choose them. So now we got like about 40 something decks. We're almost up to 50. We got some more on the way. We just got a couple new sets in the mail. And we use everything. I mean, like I said, we study world theology, so I have quite a few Christian Bibles. I have the Gnostic Gospels. I have my King James. I have the missing books of the Bible. I have the 3 books of Enoch. I have an Ethiopian Bible. I have the Egyptian Book of the Dead, which, do we have that somewhere? Yeah, we do. We have a Torah. We have a Quran. We have the Vedas. We have the Gita. We have, what else? We study spiritual laws, like I said, the spiritual laws of success, which to me represent the 7 spirits, like those 7 core principles that we are supposed to operate on are in here. And what helps lead us to our Dharma, which is our purpose, and to be able to be strong enough and brave enough to serve that purpose out, right? Because that's why we come, why we have come back. Why we have come back. Yes. And what would you do if you didn't try to control everything? If you didn't try to control your future by what you have been exposed to, being bound by what you have been exposed to, like we read in those discipline principles, what you affiliate with because of what you've been exposed to, right? Again, we come in as babes and we're taught everything. And we talk about advertisement and programming and all of that stuff, but we don't bring those pieces together to see what it really does. There's a lot of dark psychology. We have that book down there too. We study on that. We have, like I said, quite a few works, that we study from, and we look to see how all of those pieces work together. What is the consistencies across all of the work? We love to look at nature. Nature is beautiful, and biology and nature mirror each other. You look at the neural pathways, in the body, and you can see the same river pathways. You can see the venous pathways and the neural pathways mirror, the river pathways and lakes and things like that that's in the earth or on our plane. We can look at the lungs and how they are put together, and then look at trees and see how they are put together and see the consistency. Like trees breathe just like we breathe, right? Everything breathes. The breath moves through all things. We can see how nothing is ever still. We are always in constant motion. Your vessel is never still. It's always in motion. Your eyes, these orbitals that don't pick up visual, they see light. We hear sound, resonance, frequency. We taste and smell with the mind. Everything is in our mind. Right? So it lets us know that our conscious connectedness is true, is real. Because if our eyes pick up light frequency, how do I see you and see me all the same way? Like, you can describe me the same way that I would describe me. The shape of my face, the color of my eyes, the size of my lips, all of that. You can see it the same way that I can see it. Now, whether or not you like it in terms of attractiveness might be different, but that's still the same. We can still see me the same way. We can look at a photo and be like, yes, that's me. Yep, that's you. We're connected. We see the sun the same. We see the sky. We know when it's raining. We know when it's warm. Our vessels bring in all of that data. We could taste a piece of fried chicken and both know that that's fried chicken. Even though, our eyes don't see anything. And we taste with our mind. We are connected. All of creation is connected, and our vessels speak the same language. So when we read in our Christian word and it says that we all used to speak the same language, it's true. Our vessels still do speak the same language. We speak the same spiritual language as well. Our spirits will discern. You can feel that energy in your gut space, in your sacral chakra. It hits you. Your solar plexus chakra, it hits you. You can feel it. Your root, that primal instinctual space that says you must survive. You must persevere. You need to eat. You need to drink water. We all understand this. Every one of us do. We all say no, pretty much the same. We all say no, we all say yes the same way. I know it was backwards, right? Father was doing that. I was but we all pretty much say ma. We all pretty much say da. It's pretty much the same. We have a diversion of tongues, like the diversity of tongues, like a lot of languages, a lot of dialect, a lot of dialects. But our vessels speak the same language. We have the same spiritual language. Do you want this? Do you want a card yet? No. Do you want to say something? No. Do you want me to continue saying what I was saying? Yes. So we were saying that our vessels speak the same language. We have diversity of tongues, that there are spiritual gifts. You know, it's spoken of spiritual gifts. The Nine of Swords, anxiety. We got Eight of Swords being caught up in our head. And we have the Emperor, which is an organization. You know, like the leadership. What's been organized for us. And it causes us to be in our mind, not really understanding how to free ourselves from the issues of the day. And it causes us anxiety and the hurt. You know, creation is warring with creation. There's a lot of turmoil, a lot of chaos, a lot of conflict, I feel, and internal anxiety within us, in our heart space, that we are unable to really discern what's good for us and what's not, I feel. Yeah, and Father is just saying anxiety. Is this over the past? Yeah. Is it in here? No, it's just past. Can you discern? Past. Lies. Oh. Transmute energy from the past. Free yourself. The organization. Oh, it wants to stop you from freeing yourself. It wants to stop you from freeing yourself. And that's what I was saying, like to stop us from freeing ourselves and coming into and stepping into our Dharma. Yeah, this right here. Yeah. Stepping into your Dharma. The ability to serve in your purpose. To serve it truly up unto the Most High, I feel. The law of giving. Again, Father said these energies don't want you to give in your purpose. The universe operates through dynamic exchange. Giving and receiving are different aspects of the flow of energy in the universe. And in our willingness to give what we seek, we keep the abundance of the universe circulating in our lives. Yes. Do you want something else? Father pulled me to the word affluence means to flow in abundance. Money is really a symbol. We're talking about symbols, what we affiliate, right? Money is really a symbol of the life energy we exchange, and the life energy we use as a result of the service we provide to the universe. Another word for money is currency. It's the flow, which also reflects the flowing nature of energy. The word currency comes from the Latin word currere, which means to run or to flow. Is that it? No. Like a river, money must keep flowing. Otherwise, it begins to stagnate. So we kind of mentioned that we are always in a flow. We are always in motion. We are always moving. Your body never rests. Creation never rests. We always need to be in the flow of giving and receiving. And we do that at a minimal basis just by breathing. When you breathe out carbon dioxide, you receive oxygen. Every breath, you are in the flow of giving and receiving, but that is the basic minimal level of engagement. Basic minimal. When you deepen that flow and you become intentional with focused attention, we're talking about focused attention in your consciousness, focused attention, what you can create, ooh, baby, you talking about the ability to again, we manifest everything, but we are doing it without focused attention. And we have things that come to us to bring us into a state of focused attention. That problem that came at you, it makes you focus on something. You have to solve it. You have to put your mind to work in order to push through, to persevere. So again, those projections, the tears that are sown in, come to grow you. And that is why we praise through everything. That is where we get our help. We stay connected. We are able to receive downloads. The Father sits on the throne of your praise. So as you praise through any and everything, the Father is not only with you, it is guiding you. You can feel strengthened, and you know that you have the ability to persevere. Yes, you are girded, I feel. The Father sits. Is there anything else I should say? Source is raising you, is walking with you, is taking you further. Yes, 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 truth. Truth. Thank you, Father. Every relationship is one of give and take. Giving engenders receiving, and receiving engenders giving. What goes up must come down, and what comes out must come back. In reality, receiving is the same as giving, and giving and receiving are different aspects of the flow of energy in the universe. And if you stop the flow of either, you interfere with nature's intelligence. Yes. Every seed is the promise of thousands of forests, but the seed must not be hoarded. It must be given. It must give its intelligence to fertile ground. Tears and Wheat Tarot Show, baby. Through its giving, its unseen energy flows into material manifestation. You are a manifested seed, a light, a star seed. Yes, you are. And you are here to give. Give unto creation. Give unto creation that which you came to give, that which you remember not. And you go through your life experience to remember what that is. And to choose to give yourself and your purpose and your dharma. It's everything. It's everything. And you are needed. You are. You've come because you're needed. You have come back because you are needed. So what would happen if you didn't try to control it? What would happen if you didn't try to control it? What would happen if you go with the flow? If you let go of what you think you know and get into the flow. And that's what happened to your girl Lati. She chose to begin letting go of everything she thought she knew, to learn and remember what she already knows. Let go of control. Become obedient. Listen. And see where it takes you. I think it will take you anywhere, everywhere. I do. That currency, that abundance, ooh, that life, love, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. That's really what it is. It's not the American dream, beloved. It is a whole reality. So this is Getting to Know Lati on the Tears and We Tarot show, where you sure enough never know what you gon' get. I hope you vibe. I hope you subscribe. I hope you stay around. I hope you give me a thumbs up too. That way we can better pick up on you. Until the next, now know this. We love you. 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 Just like we love ourselves. Yes, we do. Because we love creation. And creation is whole. It is complete. As are you. Yes, you are. So until the next time on the Tears and We Tarot show, Ashe. Mwah.